putting doubt as to whether the so-called economic recovery, which of course is nothing of the sort, but the fact that they're talking about that again is ominous. Does privacy exist, which is, closer to should privacy exist in their eyes, with bombshell, Greenwald, Snowden revelations to come. We know that the biggest of those revelations are yet to come, which is basically what we already know, that they're recording not only metadata, they're recording actual conversations of people within the United States. That's why they have these huge storage facilities. If it was only the metadata, they wouldn't need storage facilities that big.
Of course, they're tracking it all in real time. That's on record. Top psych warfare expert, Dr. Steve Pieczenik, said he didn't think, he says he knows Alexander, he knows Clapper, and he said this last year, and he said it again in February. He said, look, this is all coming out. Snowden works for us. And he wanted to come on air and talk about that, and I just said, you know what? I said, that might be a psyop from you to then discredit him. And he goes, no, this is a coming out of it. This is so they can control the debate and limit what really comes out. And now Snowden came out, as folks know, on NBC News, basically said, look, I'm CIA, NSA, high-level operative, and I did what I did for America. So you got to let me come back to America. And the media is now lightening up on him. Paul, what does your gut tell you on that front?
I haven't read that article, Alex. All I know is that I've repeatedly tried to get Glenn Greenwald to come on your show, and at first he says, he might do it, and then you just never hear from him again. So,
well, I've had people on the show before, and Assange is in the background, like Jones Dautier, the member of Parliament, and he's there in the room. And then during the break, we talked to him. He goes, "Oh, I'm a big listener, but I can come on later." And then all these people listen to the show, and not that big a deal even getting them on. It's just that, well, Nemo's done the articles showing their connection to all these different spook organizations. Go ahead.
I haven't seen the NBC interview, so I don't know what Snowden said.
He said, I was trained as a spy and did operations for the NSA and CIA all over Europe in deep cover.
Right.
Which is exactly what Pieczenik said. He's one of our operatives, Alex. He's doing it under authorization. I expect the Russians to kick him out later, which they're trying to do. Alex, everything's going to be fine, Alex. I know he's listening to the show right now. A pretty good imitation of Pieczenik, right? What do you think? What do you think?
I mean, it was known that he worked for the CIA. I don't think that's a big admission that he's some undercover operative.
No. He worked putting in equipment systems, so they claimed he had administrative access over a bunch of stuff. Now he's going, look, no, I was deep cover in Europe, CIA, NSA on operations.
Well, if you read Greenwald's new book, then it's clear that Snowden tried to approach the Washington Post with all this information, and they basically weren't interested. So
and the New York Times.
Yeah, so I hear that all the time, that Snowden's a double agent. I don't really buy it.
Well, the reason we've had private discussions about this, and the reason I agree with you overall, is he can be manipulated by the system, but they don't like this coming out. If this is full disclosure and it's hurting them, and it is, why would they trigger it? Or does he represent a subgroup, the big telecoms, that are in a fight with NSA over total information dominance, and they want the crystal ball Palantir control? They don't want government with Palantir.
I don't know, Alex, because there's a tendency to try and strip down anybody who speaks out. I mean, people do it to you all the time. They say, and I know
full well I'm not an operative. Exactly, yeah.
So
I am Bill Hicks, though.
There's always suspicion generated against anybody who's that public, and it comes to the point where, everything's fake, the staged events, they never happened, this person's an inside job, that person's a double agent. There are some people who actually just speak out based on their own conscience and stuff. So
No, we have whistleblowers all the time that are for real, and it shakes the system to its core. I mean, exactly. I happen to know the state police guy that first gave me a document on my act got demoted because of it. And a federal marshal gave me info. They didn't figure out who he was because he slipped it to me by hand. That's why Matt Drudge said, if you've got a whistleblower, you got to meet in a parking garage. I mean, you really do, folks. And, of course, they've always known that. Anytime I've gotten really good intel, the best stuff where people don't get burned, Well, a preacher gave me the clergy response team documents 4 years before it was in the news. FEMA visited him a week later. He went to a grocery store and faxed it to us, and they went and pulled the data and went and found out who he was. Can you believe that? That's how surveilled stuff is. But they haven't gotten the FBI, the military, and the federal marshals that have given us stuff because they give it to me by hand, Paul.
No, exactly. The thing with Snowden, though, is, you know, there's this infighting between WikiLeaks and Greenwald because there's this criticism that they don't release it all in one go. They don't dump the data. But I don't think that makes sense. If you're in the position of Greenwald, you want to dole it out and keep it in the media, not just for a week or two, for a year, as he's done. So a lot of the criticism's directed towards Greenwald and Snowden, even though I don't particularly have any affinity with them because they tend to ignore us. But the criticisms don't make much sense, which is why I'm kind of shying away from it.
All right, but I think it's fair to look at it in the light of the new news. Stay there.
You know about RVs, you've heard about bunkers, but surviving is not recreation, and man wasn't made to live underground. Introducing Survivalist Camps, the ultimate fully functional off-the-grid survival bug-out house that's mobile, well-equipped, and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Go to survivalistcamps.com to learn more. That's survivalistcamps.com, providing your basic needs to survive. Survivalistcamps.com.
More and more people are discovering the incredible benefits of alkalizing the body, and there's no better product for it than AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops. Packed with a powerful combination of the most alkaline minerals and compounds, just a few drops in water will rid your body of harmful waste and give you more vibrance and vigor than you've had in years. Now buy 2 bottles and get $10 off your order. Call 800-518-7615 or visit alkavision.com. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com.
It's been said, those who control the food control the people. Are you concerned about GMO foods making you sick and affecting your mind? Many people suffer from lack of energy, insomnia, loss of stamina, weight gain, and the inability to think clearly. Genetically modified crops, processed foods, and toxic chemicals can compromise your health and are silently destroying your digestive system, which accounts for 80% of your immune system. Take back control of your health with Pro EM1 Probiotic from Terraganics. Pro EM1 Probiotic helps protect your body against irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, diabetes, the common cold, and much more. And including a powerful probiotic like Pro EM1 as part of your daily routine puts you back in control and prevents you from becoming a mindless zombie manipulated by the pharmaceutical and GMO agendas. Call Terraganics at 866-369-3678 or visit Terraganics.com. Terraganix.com.
Harvest Right is the world's first in-home freeze dryer. Freeze dry your own fruits, vegetables, meats, and full meals. With Harvest Right, you can prepare foods that last 25 years, preserving its freshness, nutrition, color, and taste. All your food can be freeze-dried. So don't throw away your leftovers. Freeze dry them with this incredible in-home money-saving freeze dryer. Go to harvestright.com to see how the Harvest Right freeze dryer works. That's harvestright.com.
Our founders pledged their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor to fight tyranny, and it's time to fight again. I'm Tisha Cassida, and I'm running as an independent for Congress in Colorado. I fight to end the military police state, ban GMO toxic foods, and abolish legal tender laws. Consider donating some of your hard-earned fiat currency to help me fight. Donate $25 or more, and you'll receive a gift to awaken others. I need and appreciate your support. Please donate at Cassida2014.com. That's CASIDA 2014.com.
Paid for by the Committee to elect Tisha Cassida to Congress.
All right, it's February 14th of this year, Valentine's Day. Steve Pieczenik saying that Snowden's an operative and doing all this under full authorization and more than meets the eye. Here it is.
Well, I will tell you very simply. I started to think of Snowden a long time ago. As I was saying, I thought he was and analyzing him not as an American but as a counterintelligence operative or somebody who's had experience in counterintelligence. I thought Snowden was very much what I call the manufactured avatar of the American intelligence community. What do I mean by that? I started looking at tapes of Edward Snowden when he was giving these bombastic interviews and self-aggrandizing interviews to the German press and other presses. But in the recent press, in a recent interview, he very clearly stated to the Germans, yes, I was in the special forces, but I broke my ankle. Now, that was not credible to me, because if you're in the special forces, you don't just break your ankle and you don't leave. But he went on to explain that the special forces was something that was a noble endeavor on his part, and he saw it as a magnifier of military power. In other words, he gave me an explanation that was inconsistent with being a subcontractor. Then he went on to really indict himself by saying in the interview, I'm a CIA operative. I was recruited by the CIA and then the NSA. So what I'm getting at very quickly was Snowden is very typical of what we in the intelligence community would want to do, and that is to create an avatar or an image of a person who may be a traitor or a whistleblower, so that we allow the American public to play off either part of two figures that the intelligence community creates. On the one hand, the intelligence community creates this incredible massive surveillance, where at the same time they want to make sure that they are not acquitted, that they're not judged harshly, so that they make sure they can control the narrative.
That's right. It's already starting to come out, so they have a limited hangout and dole out the information, and then later they can have him come out dressed up in a dress, like David Shaler of MI5, or Bradley Manning coming out in a dress. They found that's the best way to discredit something, make him an icon, and then Snowden comes out in a big red dress. Chelsea Manning, excuse me. And I'm not kidding that we may have just blown their operation right there. When will Snowden show up in a pink tutu is the question, Paul Watson.
I honestly don't know, Alex, but yeah, there are enough really bad things going on that we can prove. So I try not to get into speculation too much about Snowden, because I know a lot of people get obsessed with that kind of stuff.
But you know, the Manning stuff and Shaler, I mean, how many whistleblowers have to come out dressed like a woman? I mean, you know that's staged.
Well, I met Shaler with you back in 2005, and he was completely the most down-to-earth person you would ever want to meet.
No, we had drinks with him for about 5 hours.
That was pretty odd. I think he did have a mental breakdown, but whether that was tied into something else, I don't know. It was definitely odd.
No, that was all him blowing his whole operation at the end of it. That's classic, man. I'm telling you, I think Pachinik's got something here. I'm not sure he's right. It may be his training makes you a little too paranoid, but it's good to be too paranoid than not enough paranoid. Watson, you're going to be there. The big day starts tomorrow. We're going to have more coverage with you, aren't we? There at Bilderberg. We're going to have more coverage tomorrow with you.
Okay.
And lastly, Paul, in 1 hour, I want you to give them live feed coverage as they approach the hotel and the rest of it, so we can get that all on tape. Okay, bud?
Okay. Will do.
So the guys are there now. Suit up, get ready. 1 hour from now, we will approach everybody live, bare minimum, shoot video, and get it out for everybody. Okay, Paul?
Okay.
Great job, Watson. And please remember, this broadcast is brought to you by our great sponsors at MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex. MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex. And when you go there, high quality, non-GMO, storable foods, the best out there in my view, great prices, great service, 866-229-0927. MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex. Second hour coming up. It's going to be jam-packed on this live Wednesday edition.
Visit GCNlive.com today.
A chemical spill contaminating the water supply in 9 West Virginia counties.
This year alone, over 300,000 people in West Virginia had their drinking water contaminated.
What are the health effects of having these drugs in our drinking water?
It's forced medical treatment without the consent of residents.
My friends, water filtration is one of the most basic actions you can take to protect you and your family from the harmful toxins and heavy metals in your tap water.
On average, the county says it sprays with the glyphosate at least once a week.
Few filters cut out the glyphosate that is found in water supplies worldwide. Remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, hydrofluorosilicic acid, sodium hexafluorosilicate.
Fluoride, it is in tea, it's in coffee, it's in water, it's in bread, it's in toothpaste.
It is our responsibility to protect our families. The establishment's not going to do it. It's time to take action. It's time to filter our water. Visit InfoWarsStore.com and use promo code WATER to get 10% off their entire family of incredible products. Or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.